Stop what you're doing if you're about to buy a TP-Link Archer C80 router. This honest review will save you from costly Wi-Fi problems and show you the hidden flaws you won't find in the specs. But here's what surprised me. Even with a 4.5-star Amazon rating, this router has serious, deal-breaking issues that could ruin your home network. Therefore, you need to watch this before you spend $90. For the best price on a router that actually works, click the link in the description. Let's start with the promise. The TP-Link Archer C80 advertises AC 1900 speeds, which breaks down to 1300 Mbps on 5 GHz and 600 Mbps on 2.4 GHz. It has MU-MIMO and beamforming technology, promising to pair flawlessly with your devices and deliver a highly efficient connection. On paper, for under $90, it sounds like a superhero for your internet. But the moment I unboxed it, I felt like I'd ordered a gourmet burger and got a lukewarm patty. The setup is easy, I'll give it that. You plug it in, use the Tether app, and you're online in minutes. However, that's where the smooth ride often ends. The first major problem: inconsistent speeds. I ran tests in the same room, and the 5 GHz band delivered great speeds when it felt like it. Walk into the next room, and sometimes it was like the router decided to take a nap. It's not just me. Diving into user reviews reveals a chorus of people saying their speeds are all over the place, despite the beamforming tech that's supposed to focus the signal. Therefore, if you need reliable speed for video calls or gaming, this inconsistency is a major red flag. Rehook, but wait, it gets worse. What about range? Let's talk about the second big issue. The Archer C80 has 3 external antennas, which suggests decent coverage. In reality, its range is optimistic at best. In a standard 2-bedroom apartment, you might be okay. But add some walls, especially older construction, and the signal weakens dramatically. The 2.4 GHz band, which is supposed to be the long-range workhorse, often feels weaker than a cheap smartphone hotspot. I tried to stream a video in my backyard, which is literally 30 feet from the router with one window in between, and the buffering circle of doom became my new screensaver. It's like the router's idea of beamforming is pointing all its energy at the ceiling fan. Joke number 1. Setting up the Archer C80's guest network felt less like creating a guest network and more like building a moat around a sandcastle. The security is there, but the foundation is shaky. Therefore, let's deep dive into performance for multiple devices. This router boasts MU-MIMO, which stands for multi-user, multiple input, multiple output. Fancy term meaning it should handle multiple devices at once without slowing down. Here's the contrarian snapback. In my testing with a household of phones, laptops, and a couple smart TVs, the Archer C80 started to struggle with more than 8 to 10 active devices. It didn't crash, but latency spiked. Online gaming became a slideshow if someone else started a 4K download. The seamless pairing promise. It's more of a tentative handshake that falls apart under pressure. This is a Wi-Fi 5 802.11 AC router, which is now previous generation tech. In a world moving to Wi-Fi 6 for dense device environments, the C80 shows its age. If you have a smart home with lights, speakers, and cameras, this could be a bottleneck. Rehook. Speaking of age, here's a critical problem no one talks about: long-term reliability. The hardware inside feels built to a price point. After several weeks of use, I experienced the need to reboot it more often than I'd like. Not weekly, but enough to notice. About once every 2 weeks it would get stuffy, and a quick power cycle was the cure. Some users in reviews report this happening more frequently, with dropouts that require constant resets. For a device that's supposed to be the foundation of your internet life, that's unacceptable. You don't want your router to be a diva that needs constant attention. Joke 2. My old, dusty router from 5 years ago was more reliable. It was slower than a snail, but at least it was a consistently slow snail. This one is a sprinter with inconsistent knees. But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's talk about what the TP-Link Archer C80 does right, because this is where the positive note begins. For a very specific user, this router can be a decent buy. The interface, via the Tether app or web browser, is clean and user-friendly. Parental controls are solid and easy to set up. COS quality of service lets you prioritize gaming or streaming traffic, which does help mitigate some of the congestion issues. If you live in a small space, like a studio apartment, and you have a modest number of devices, say a laptop, phone, and a streaming stick, the Archer C80 will likely work just fine for you. It's a step up from the garbage combo modem router your ISP gives you. The price, while not the absolute cheapest, positions it as a mid-range option. Rehook, so who should actually buy this router, and who should run away? Here's the resolution. You should consider the TP-Link Archer C80 if you have a small apartment, you're on a tight budget, your internet plan is under 300 Mbps, and you don't have a ton of smart devices. It's a basic upgrade. However, you should avoid it if you have a medium to large home, you need consistent coverage in every room, you have a fast internet plan 500 Mbps plus, you're a serious online gamer, or you have a growing smart home ecosystem. For those people, the problems of range, device handling, and inconsistent speeds will be a daily frustration. Joke 3. Buying this router for a large house is like using a garden hose to put out a house fire. The intention is good, but you're going to be disappointed. Therefore, what's the alternative? This is the most important part. If your needs are light, the Archer C80 might suffice. But for most people looking for reliable Wi-Fi in 2023 and beyond, investing in a Wi-Fi 6 router or a mesh system is a smarter long-term play. The technology is better at handling multiple devices and offers more consistent performance. The initial cost is higher, but you won't be replacing it in 2 years. Think of it as buying shoes. You can get the cheap pair that looks okay now, but gives you blisters later, or you can invest in the comfortable pair that lasts. TP-Link itself makes better models in their lineup that address these exact shortcomings. Let's end on the positive note as promised. The TP-Link Archer C80 is not a terrible product. It's an average, budget-oriented Wi-Fi 5 router that fills a specific niche. It has a high Amazon rating because for that niche, the small space, low device user, it does the job well enough. The problems arise when people expect it to perform beyond its designed capabilities. Its strengths are easy setup and a decent interface. Its weaknesses are range, consistency under load, and aging tech. Joke 4. Reviewing this router was like watching a B-movie. It has its moments, but you can't expect Oscar-winning performance. In conclusion, don't buy the TP-Link Archer C80 if you need whole home coverage and have a busy network. Do consider it if your needs are minimal and your space is small. Understand its limitations and you won't be disappointed. For everyone else, look for a more robust solution. Your Wi-Fi sanity will thank you. For the best price and to check the latest deals on the TP-Link Archer C80 or its better alternatives, click the link in the description below. Make an informed choice.